Hello, everyone, and welcome to another interesting podcast. And today we have a wonderful guest with us who's Parvez. And Parvez, how about we start with a quick introduction?
First of all, thank you so much, Sumit, for inviting me in a podcast. And if you talk about me, and just to be very sharp and crisp, there are three words that define me, and they are passion, patience, and perseverance. And how it goes is like one should have a high level of passion in order to achieve whatever they want. On the other side, they should be patient enough and should not just run after or get triggered on very small hiccups or so. And the third part is perseverance, which, anything that you want to do a big or any transformation you want to make, it will take time. So one should keep on doing continuously and till the time you reach to your goal as well. So these are like three words which are very close to me and they go very well with me. So thanks for asking me.
Okay, so over here, I think one thing comes to mind is that everyone has different definitions of, say, passion. So how do you find, what's your definition here?
Very interesting question. So passion is that keeps you going despite hiccups also, right? And passion is also linked to your, and this is my understanding and this is my belief, that it should be linked to your purpose. And purpose is much more bigger. It's not like a short-term goal that, I want to be financially independent in next 5 years or so. Right? These are, in my view, these are pretty meager goals, right? Wherein our purpose should be much, much larger. So I keep it this way, like my purpose is that when I turned 60, 65 years old, I should have impacted at least 1 million lives.
Okay.
So then what I have done, I have set multiple milestones and goals. And I see as a person who is 65 years old and now I am regulating or thinking that what should I do to reach here? Now, whatever I do, whether professionally or personally, everything what I am doing right now is linked to that purpose. And God has been kind to me that everything I'm doing is aligned to my purpose. And it's a blessing. Otherwise, not everyone has an opportunity to follow that, you can say, purpose as well as whatever they do are aligned to it.
Okay. And how did you even discover this purpose? And how can someone who is just, say, starting out find their purpose? Because purpose is, again, a very hard thing to find for a lot of people, right? So how do you do that?
It's not that easy. And it's an iterative process, to be frank. And sometimes we get some inspiration. I'll tell you one very small, interesting story of my life. So my son, who is in 7th standard right now. So when I was in 2nd standard in Delhi, we went to get his admission in one of the schools in Delhi. And fortunately, he cracked the interview and the written test and he got admission. So we were returning from the school. I was driving, my son was sitting on the left side and my wife on the rear seat. And as a doting wife, she just kind of telling Ayan that, so Ayan, when you grow up, become like your dad, do engineering, do MBA, work in good companies like PwC or MNCs. And he was like 2nd standard guy, he was just listening to her and suddenly said, so dad, tell me, why did you do engineering and then MBA? And there was a deafening silence, right? And it took approximately 15 minutes from that point to reach home. And I did not even utter a word. And you'll be surprised to know why I did not do that, because that point of time, my aim was that if I'm doing some extra certifications or courses or MBA and all, the sole purpose is to make more money or a stabilized, you can say, career or so.
Yeah.
And that time I realized it's so meager, it's so small, wherein we should think much, much bigger, much, much grand, a lot of things to explore. And maybe everything what we are doing is revolving around our job, which is not the purpose of life. I think it's much bigger. So that was one trigger point in my life. And then one more incident happened a couple of years back. So we shifted from Delhi to Mumbai 5 years back. And my daughter, who is like 8 years old now. So 2 years back, she went to a birthday party, her friend's birthday party. And when she came back, she was a little upset. So I asked her, okay, Aisha, what happened to you? And she was very upset. She was sitting silently somewhere. Then I probed what happened, and she said, Dad, there was a guy, he was spinning basketball on his finger. So I said, so what happened? So she said, he was doing that, but when I asked, he said, it's impossible for you because you are very small. And I said that it may be difficult, but not impossible. She said, no, Dad, even I tried a couple of times and it failed. I failed, so it's impossible. I said, that guy may be doing this exercise for last 10 years, 15 years, so he's an expert, right? And you just tried today. And then she said, if it is not impossible, then can you do that? And that point of time, I had no idea what basketball is, because I just played what majority of the Indians play, which is nothing but cricket.
Okay.
And so I said, okay, give me some time. So it took me 3.5 to 4 months to learn how to spin the ball. Okay. And it's a pretty complicated process, right? And then in this journey, I realized that things may look a little difficult in the beginning, but if you have the same, as you said, like, passion, patience, and perseverance, right, you can unlock it. And that's how these two incidents that happened in my life made me think a little bit more deeper, that, think a little big. And that's why I started juggling around, okay, what should be my purpose? And then after multiple iterations of 6-7 months and introspection and self-reflection, whatever you can name it, I came back with an idea that, my purpose. And then I came back with a purpose statement as well, that I should empower individuals how they can reach to their potential, right?
Okay.
Because we all have huge potential, but we don't perform at that level. And reasons could be many. It can be either mindset, it can be either a belief system, or whatever you can name it. Right?
Yeah.
And as I said, like, whatever I am doing as of now, either personally or professionally, is revolving around that sole purpose and the longer view.
Okay. But I think that personally, especially when it comes to our generation, since we are so addicted to, say, dopamine, we always want quick results, quick fixes. So how does someone develop patience, especially in this generation where everything is really fast? Like, I can just take my phone right now, order groceries, it will come in 10 minutes. So how can I develop patience is the question.
Patience, I don't know whether it's a right or wrong answer, but I may have my own perspective, right? Until unless there is a trigger, we will not realize the importance of that particular piece. So in the beginning, you asked, what do we mean by passion, right? Anybody may be passionate about even, watching games or watching cricket or doing something else, right? So my daughter, if she's playing with toys or doing some drawing, she'll be so lost, like 4 or 5 hours, she'll not even look here and there. And we may have heard a lot of stories about Madame Curie, that, she had siblings and they used to put a lot of things around, and when she used to get up, she would just juggle around or so. So when we say patience, like, until unless we realize what is actually motivating us to do for something and we are consistently working on it, probably that is a trigger will come. Otherwise, everyone will have their own definition also. And as you said, like, in this generation, somebody can even ask a question, why should I be patient? I don't need to be patient at all, right? I'm a go-getter. Let me do whatever I want to achieve in a super fast way.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely fine. So it's all about the way we feed to our brain and the way it works into our own system, right?
Okay.
So these things should kind of fit into our overall frame, be it whatever, passion or patience or other things as well.
That makes sense. And now I'm very curious and I want to ask you this. Since you have had a very interesting life, which we will get into, I want to ask you, what has been the best moment of your life and the worst moment of your life?
There are many moments we can say best or low, and I'm thankful on both the cases, right? So let me start with a low moment. So in 2019, I was working with a company, and I went to China, and when I came back, I was diagnosed with some disease. Okay, and it was kind of fatal. Okay, and I was admitted to the hospital, and then my samples were sent to the laboratory. And then the result came in. When the result came in, everybody started kind of almost crying. Okay. And I was just, I was on the bed and I was just watching everyone and all. And then suddenly in the evening, my wife was sitting on the left side, my mother, and then my mother asked me that why you? Why it happened with you only? Right? Generally, कि तुम्हारे साथ ही ऐसा क्यों हुआ? So I just said कि, if you recall, so when I was in school, I was almost among the top 3 or so. And then I went to engineering college, one of the best in India, without any break or so. After that, I joined IMT Ghaziabad for my MBA program. I worked with my dream companies like PwC, Target, and other. I was doing so well everywhere, personally and professionally. Nobody asked me that time, why only you? Wherein there were millions of aspirants, right? They wanted to become engineer, they could not. Millions of aspirants, they want to do MBA, they could not. Billions of aspirants, they wanted to work with companies like PwC or some other companies, they could not. But I was lucky, right? So by virtue of that, I realized that, we should have that gratitude. That was a moment, you can term it as a low or high, that also changed my perspective. And today, if I say my purpose statement or a goal of my life, whatever I'm seeing, it is also linked somewhere from that, because the seed was sown that time. Okay. And I was filled with gratitude, little bit understand the nuances of life, that anything can happen any point of time, right? So whatever you have achieved, whatever you have got, you should be happy and you should be grateful about, and also see how you can contribute to the society as well. So this episode was, you can say, both from high side and low side, as well.
This is very interesting. I mean, usually when someone is diagnosed with a sickness, they are really sad, but somehow you found a positive take on that, which is pretty interesting to me. And what would you say is the best moment that you have had in your life?
Best moments were many. From a personal side, you can say, I still remember when I was holding my daughter on my hand, right? I can never forget that moment, because that time I thought my responsibilities have multiplied, right? Because having a daughter is one of the biggest blessings. And also on the other side, I should ensure that my daughter should always be proud of. Mm-hmm. That was, you can say, the best moment of my life. And there are many probably in the list also.
That makes sense. And so we have been talking, and you have told me that you have had a very tough childhood growing up. And I want to ask you, what are, say, a few lessons you learned with your childhood that helped you achieve so much in your life?
I won't say it's a tough childhood. We all undergo different phases, and every phase has its own learning and you can say hardships. Okay. One thing what I've realized is about the belief system. So I studied in government school in Hindi medium till 12th standard. And when I went to engineering college after doing my 12th, it was a big change, big surprise to me, because everything was in English. There were such thick books. So, I need to work hard, double as compared to my, you can say, peers, because first I need to read them, translate them in Hindi so that I can understand, and then vice versa. Okay. So in this process, I realized I got somehow, a victim of self-belief. And when we say self-belief, that, I cannot do that because I'm coming from this kind of background. Many of my friends who studied in convent school, probably they were doing much, much better. And it continued for many years, you can say, till I passed out from my college, entered into the corporate world and all. But with time, I realized that these are all just beliefs, right? If I look back and see, this is my belief, and if I unlock this belief, probably the opportunities will be much better. So one day, what I did, I just listed down which are my top 10 fears. Okay. And the top 10 fears started with public speaking. Okay, and vice versa. And then I made an action plan that, okay, if I want to, get rid of public speaking, what shall I do? And then 3-4 action points, right? And when I started, so I still remember my first workshop that I conducted for green belt certifications, green belt, you can say, program.
Okay.
And the first hour was miserable. Almost all the participants were laughing at me because I was completely nervous, which was visible from my body language. At a temperature of 22 in the training room, I was kind of sweating. So everything, whatever could go wrong, went wrong that day, right? And then suddenly, one of my seniors, he entered, and somehow he kind of, took me away and he took the session, and it went well. After the session ended, he told me that, Parvez, whatever worse could happen has happened. Nothing will go beyond, beyond this also. And that changed my perspective. And then, I started taking up more sessions, more interactions. I started finding opportunities where I can at least put up any topic and start, speaking about it. And then I realized that after 4-5 months or so, that entire fear of public speaking or standing in front of people, it just vanished.
Okay.
Now I conduct workshops. I visit a lot of colleges, very premium colleges, which were like, my dreams, you can see, IEMs. Yeah. And I take sessions there. I conduct some other events where there are thousands of participants, right? Mm-hmm. Although something happens, it's not like it's very simple, but I know that, even though if I fail, if I make mistake or so, I will manage the show, right? So that kind of confidence that I have. So with those, you can say, the element of perseverance, which I talked about in the beginning, right? Working for 10-15 years and all, almost all the fears I had are now vanished. Now I need to make another list.
That makes sense. But again, when it comes to belief systems, it's a little bit complicated, right? Let's say somebody has very negative core beliefs of themselves, maybe saying that they're not good enough or they can never achieve something. Like yesterday, I was trying to help my friend make content for her makeup business, but she has so much social anxiety that she was just struggling to even turn on the camera and start speaking. So how can someone change their core beliefs and make them positive and actually believe in them?
Very good question. It takes time.
Okay.
So the problem of belief is that we feel that this is a reality, which has nothing to do with the reality.
Okay.
So if I had a belief that a person who is coming from a Hindi medium background cannot work in MNC, and till the time I had this belief, I never entered into any of the MNCs. The change will only happen when I introspect and say, even though if I have studied in a Hindi medium school, so what? There are millions may have done that and they have been successful as well. But as I said, the point is first I need to introspect and find the core, that what is a belief system which is holding me back. Sometimes even we are not able to understand what is holding me back. So awareness plays a very big role. And the moment we have an awareness, we'll start working upon it. So as there is a saying that we don't know what we don't know. So if something is pulling me back and I'm not aware, it will keep me pulling me back. Until unless sometime I sit down and ask myself, okay, Parvez, what are your core belief systems which are holding you back? And I should be brutally honest, because it's not so simple to be honest with self, right? Standing in front of a mirror and asking oneself that this is a core problem you have or an opportunity. Let's work upon it. It takes guts for anyone.
Yeah.
So once there is an awareness, automatically you'll start working upon it. And the second important part is the moment we get to know that this belief system is pulling me back, be ruthless to yourself as well. The first step will be very, very uncomfortable. As I said, the public speaking or taking a program for many participants, I have never done that. That was my biggest fear. And the day I did, it was so embarrassing. This kind of zameen fat jaya and you go inside. It's okay. But that's fine, because it's your journey. I have to get rid of that piece. And there is no other way but you have to go through. So any transformation is a very painful journey. And that is why if I try to relate it with New Year resolutions, on 1st of January, we all make many resolutions. And by 15th of January, the majority of them evaporate. Why? Not because we don't want to change, but we want to change without any pain. And it's not going to happen. If happens, it's a miracle, but majority of the time, any transformation will be a painful journey. Otherwise, everybody will be. If you take an example of fitness, going to a gym on a regular basis, right, is not an easy task. But there is a persistence. If the person continues, then after a couple of years, realize body is fit. Whatever you wear, you look good. There is a confidence, and then all that stuff. There is a cascading effect into it. So any transformation is a painful journey, and we should accept it. And when it is linked to our own purpose and our own core, you can say goal that yes, no matter whatever happens, I am going to do that. So done and dusted.
So essentially, it's all about having that awareness and then being okay with the journey being painful.
Yes.
And I think one thing I've heard is that positive habits attract more positive habits and negative habits attract more negative habits. That's why if you see most smokers are also a lot into, say, alcohol and other negative habits. But if someone is into fitness, you'll see they're eating healthy, they're going out for walks, they are also making more growth mindset decisions. So I think that is how the ecosystem sort of works. And I believe that right now you're also working on your new book, correct?
Yes.
Okay, what is it called?
So the title of the book is Why Make Resolutions When You Can Bring Revolution? And the idea behind is we all have huge capabilities, and when we perform, we are very far away from our capabilities. And you'll be surprised to know that we perform closer to 10% of the potential we have. 10%. Just 10.
Okay.
And this was a study done by some, you can say, agency in the USA. And I was also surprised to know. But because I was dealing it very, you can say, very deeply, so I was somewhere, you can say, sure that yes, it won't be more than 50%, but 10% really surprised me. There are many reasons. So when I introspected, looked at my journey, and also when I, you can say, studied around my peers, colleagues, and people around me, and also read a lot of books, I realized like there are 3-4 things. They stop us not performing to the best of our capability. And the first is our belief system. It's as simple as that. If I believe I cannot do, I will never be able to do that. The second part is our communication. And communication is not only external communication, but also our internal communication. How Parvez or Sumit talk to himself 24/7.
Yeah.
So as you said, that positive energy attracts positive energy. So if you are seeding positive things into your head 24/7, automatically the output will be much more positive. I will start finding opportunities. So one of the leaders in India, he said like, where people see walls, I see windows.
Oh wow.
So yeah. So that's where the opportunities will come in, because everywhere you will try to see the brighter side of it, and it will happen in the personal life as well. So if somebody is coming up and behaving little abruptly, instead of getting agitated, you may even ask, okay, what happened? What is making you agitated? So you will try to put yourself into their shoes, and then thinking from that perspective, and then you will realize that the person who is behaving a little differently is because of something else. It's not his or her actual behavior, right? So the positive, you can say, behavior, the mindset starts, you can say, coming up everywhere. And the third part is our mindset. And all these three things are interrelated, but just to differentiate, that I found that if one works on these three pieces, communication, belief system, and mindset, there is a lot of, you can say, ground we can cover, and we can go much, much closer to the potential that we have.
Okay. So these are essentially the three things that you found. And I want to ask you this, since of course you have been working on your belief system for a long time, what is the most craziest thing you have achieved, or something you thought was completely impossible for you? What do you think that would be?
Yeah, so there's a story behind it. I was working with Samsung, and then I saw there were few gentlemen. They just came out from a meeting room, and they were all like very well dressed up with suit and well attired, well groomed, all this stuff. So I asked one of my team members, who are they? And they say, they are from McKinsey. I said, McKinsey? So what do? They are, management consultant. So that day I went back, did some research and all, and I got to know that yes, management consulting is a very lucrative profile also, because they will meet with CXOs and then they have these kind of skills, all that stuff. But my belief was that I will never be able to get into management consulting or at that league, because I don't have certain things. Number one, I don't have that background, as I said, like Hindi medium, all this stuff, or I don't have that exposure. I've not done MBA and all. But on the other side, I said, if I want to be that level, right, what all things I should have? Like, it's like a checklist. Yeah. That these are 4 or 5 traits I should have so that I can reach there. And I worked for almost 4 to 5 years. And in 2010, I got a job in PwC. So it was like, as a management consultant. And I worked almost like 11 years in PwC. And throughout that journey, like I used to think I'm in a dream world, right? A lot of my colleagues used to get, you can say, bored because of long working hours, but I was enjoying day in, day out, because it was my dream. I never thought I would be into something, but I did that. And that's why, maybe because there was a lot of pain associated, so I was enjoying a lot. There is a saying, what comes very easily, you don't enjoy that piece, right? Because I had that passion, I had that dream to be there. And when I got into it, it was something unbelievable to me.
And I think one thing when I talk to you, Parvez, I find that you're very humble in a lot of aspects. How can one develop humility? Because 2 things happen, right? When you work really hard for something, you either become really egoistic or you become humble. So how did you do the latter?
Okay, it's a little emotional question as well, Sumit. When we say, I don't know whether I am humble or not, but only thing is, like, I always remain on the ground, right? I always feel that it's not just my hard work, but a lot of prayers and good wishes, like suppose the way you were talking to me and all that stuff, right? So there are many good wishes, many my friends or my family members, their prayers are with me, right? So it's not just hard work that will take you there. There are a lot of other aspects as well, which may be visible, may not be invisible, may be invisible. So I feel like if I am where I am right now, I think there is also a long way to go. It's not where I wanted to be, right? Okay. There is still a long way to go, and I want to be grounded, okay? And I don't want to waste my energy or drain myself into other things by putting myself into that I have achieved something, so I am great or something. No, not at all. Okay. We have a small life, and if we want to contribute, in whichever way, I think I'll be lucky enough to do so. And in the same journey, I'm there. Other things are completely immaterial.
Okay. But one thing I've observed with, say, growth mindset people who want to keep achieving is they keep growing and growing and growing, but they never stop to, say, celebrate their victories, and that's why they never feel like they are complete. They feel like always something is missing from their life. So do you sometimes feel that?
I'm a little different.
Okay.
So even smallest success I see, I will celebrate. And even I will celebrate if there are some shortcomings as well. Okay. Because that gives me an opportunity to at least reflect, right? So all these things are byproduct. So when we say there is a small success or I have achieved something, whatever we can call it, right? These are the byproduct of the journey that I have taken. So I am only concentrating on my end goal, that I want to impact 1 million lives by the time I turn 65 years old. in this journey, if I make some mistakes, I will own it because it's my mistake. And why so? Because it's my journey.
Yeah.
Nobody else to be blamed. So I take the whole responsibility of setbacks, failures, or success as well. So whichever way, if there are certain learnings, I will relish them. If there are certain small or big successes also, I will definitely celebrate, not only with me, but also with the people around me.
That makes sense. And are you a book person or are you a movie person?
I love reading books. Probably, if my wish is granted, I will say, give me an endless life and give me endless books. I just want to sit down and just keep reading.
Okay, then I have to ask you, what is your favorite book to read?
There are many favorite books I have read, but one book which I would recommend is Anti-Fragile.
Anti-Fragile.
And yes, this is by Nassim. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, and when I was reading this book, maybe I was correlating a lot of things with me. And I have also learned that when you read a book, actually you don't read a book, you read yourself. Because you only interpret what you know. So when an author has written a book, he may have a different perspective of writing something. But when we read it, we will only read what we understand. So every word has a story, every word has an understanding. So every time I read such books and all, I realize, oh, there is a different perspective. So like a classical book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I read 15 years back. That time my understanding was very different. Today, if I read it, my understanding will be very different. I love books, and there are many books in the list. Maybe I'll share with you separately as well.
Okay, I'll definitely put the link for Anti-Fragile in the description so that other people can also check it out. And of course, you have been a father of 2. So what is the biggest belief that has changed in your life when, say, fatherhood came to the picture?
Sorry, a lot of things have changed, and many on a positive note as well. One thing is I have become much more responsible.
Okay.
And why so? Because they look up to us. Now, if my daughter said that day it is impossible, and I said no, it's possible, and after 4 months of hard work, I could spin the ball, and she learned that yes, Dad, you're right, it's possible. And because of that piece, a lot of things changed in her life. So she had a lot of fears, like she has a fear of height. Now one fine day, couple of months back, she was standing at almost 10 to 12 feet wall and taking a selfie.
Oh my God.
And I asked her that you are not scared, and she was saying that you said if you want to kill a fear, face a fear. I said, oh my God, like now she's teaching me.
So essentially being an inspiration to your children.
Sometimes they also inspire us, frankly speaking, because growing child bring a lot of surprises to you. And the surprises will be hidden in their questions they will ask you. And as a father, you cannot get rid of their questions. You have to answer them. And in order to answer them, you also learn a lot of things. So till I got into my fatherhood figure also, I have learned a lot of new things, and on a positive note. And it's a journey, probably. Everyone does that.
And what is one thing you probably want your children to inherit, like one quality that they want from you? Like essentially you have this quality and you would want to pass it on to your children.
Not a single one. In my view, absolutely. I think it's their life. Let them do whatever they want to do. Right? But one thing which I will try to inculcate in them is that find your passion and chase your dream. So you don't have to worry that I need to become a doctor because everyone wants me to become a doctor. No, not at all. Don't carry that baggage. If you want to become a singer, that's fine. If you want to become a musician, become a musician. If you want to become a pilot also, go ahead with that. But yes, find what makes you tick, what makes you get up early in the morning, what makes you get excited on maybe Sunday evening.
That's definitely a wonderful answer, Parvez. And if you could hypothetically say teach everybody one single skill, what would it be?
It's a tough question, Sumit. But in my view, there are 3 skills we should have. And the good part about these skills are they were relevant 1,000 years back. they are relevant today, and I'm sure they'll be relevant in next 1,000 years as well. And I believe that these skills are nothing but storytelling, communication, and problem solving.
So, Parvez, my final question for you is that if you could give yourself one golden piece of advice, which is to your future self, what would that be?
One golden piece of advice, then the advice would be just stick to your goal, your larger purpose, and don't get bogged down by any triggers or failures or even successes as well. So keep your eyes completely intact on your future goal, and rest will follow.
So kind of blindfolds on and just focus on one direction.
Yes, because it's not just one small thing, right? It's very holistic. It's very big purpose that I'm serving. Okay. So, and why I'm saying so, because many times when you don't get desired results or you feel some setbacks or so, we start questioning ourselves. So it is related to that point of view, that even though there are setbacks, absolutely fine. We don't have to worry at all. Okay. And things will go up and down. Stick to your purpose, and then law of attraction will take place, and you will start finding paths, during the journey itself.
That makes sense. Okay, so this has definitely been a really insightful conversation with you, Parvez. We had a few hiccups here and there, but I think I really enjoyed and learned a lot. I really enjoyed the journey. And any final thoughts before we conclude?
Oh, first of all, thank you so much, Sumit, once again for inviting me and sharing a lot of questions hidden somewhere down the line, and it opened up during this conversation. So nothing much, and just wish me good luck in my journey.
Definitely.
So there are a lot of things on the way, and I will need you can say support, blessings, and prayers from all of you. And let's be work towards making our society better, support each other so that they can achieve whatever they want to do, and this is what we can do. That's the only thing that is there in our hands.
That's great. You're right. Okay, so I'll link Parvez LinkedIn or in the description. And yeah, if you are watching from home, thank you for your time and hope you enjoyed this conversation. You can hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you later with another podcast.